Alright, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to retime runs using frame counting software. I'll cover some of the common start and end frames and a few tips and tricks on how to use the tools, as well as retiming runs that use a load remover. You'll find links to the tools below in this video, along with timestamps for the video if you want to jump around. So the two main retiming tools that I use are VidTimer and Slushpuppy's retiming tool. I mainly use Slushpuppy's because it's quick and it runs way smoother, but the only downside is that it doesn't work with Twitch VODs. Thankfully, because of the Twitch VOD storage thing, most LEGO boards don't even allow Twitch VODs anymore, so this usually isn't a problem. There are other tools out there, but feel free to suggest them. I just use these two because they work perfect for me. Here is Slushpuppy's retime tool. You can download it. I use this. It looks like this when you pop it up. It's really, really quick. This is VidTimer. It's a website. I think you can get extensions and stuff. I don't use this very often though, but it's got all the tools built in, and it'll give you the time and all this stuff. So if you want to use that, you can, but I don't like it. So first, I'll quickly show you how to use the tools effectively. So this is YouTube, right? Most runs will be on YouTube. That's the tool, and we need to paste in the start and end times, basically. Right, okay, this is gameplay. It's already started, but just for example, if you want to frame advance on YouTube, you want to hit the comma key and the period key. So the comma goes back a frame, right? So this is going back a frame each. And then the period or the full stop will go forward a frame each. If you want to do 5 seconds at a time, use the arrow keys. Then, let's say you found your start frame, right? Right click, copy debug info. Do not copy URL. This is not right. You want debug info. Boom, and then you can paste it into here, and this will give you the start frame. And then end frame, let's just say it's here. Boom, copy debug info, boom. So that's the time from that start one and that end one. Now, this might not necessarily be right. So what we need to do is look at stats for nerds and have a look here. That's the resolution, and that's the frames per second of the video. So we want to enter that. Now, if we do 60, it's that. If it's 30, it's slightly different. So you do want to double check that for every run. So I'll go through the common start points and then the common end points. For the start points, there are basically 4 types. There's new game, and then there's new game, but it fades in. And then there's a fade in / first frame of gameplay. And then there's start on button confirmation. Now, let's start with new game, because there are a couple variations. The first one is a clean start, like in TCS. I will find the beginning of the run, so I'll go back. Now this one starts almost instantly, right? So you can see his time has already started, so I'll go back, right? And you can see he presses there, so it's about to happen. So what I'll do is I'll frame advance. And then you can see his button press. All right, cool. Now, for TCS, there's a few for like the older games as well. You'll see the text disappear. All right, so that's the starting frame. So I'll go back here and I'll go forward 1. That's my starting frame. Copy debug info. I'll clear this actually. Paste into here. So that's our definite starting frame. Cool. All right, now that's nice and easy, right? But some starting frames are not so easy. All right, so I'll clear this one. So for lasers, pirates, any percent run. So I'll get stats for nerds, 60, cool. All right. Right, so I'm actually on double speed right now. So you can see that like when you press new game, it just fades in. So there's no actual single start frame. So what I'm gonna do is have a look. You can see he's spamming the controller, right? So boom, new game. Okay, so this starts on when he confirms this, right? And you can see there, he presses the button. So I'll go backwards, right? Nothing on the controller, nothing, boom. So that's the start frame. You can also use live split as well. Usually I'll cross-check that, but this probably means that he pressed start on the live split, or the auto splitter started slightly after. Now I like to use the controller because it's usually more accurate. Sometimes people start this late or early, so I'll go off the controller. So again, nothing, boom, advance 1 forward. That's the starting point. Copy, paste, done. Okay, so for fade in, okay, so I'm going to use this dimensions run as an example. So you can see this is the load, and then it's going to fade into the level like that, right? Now, not really a clear start frame. So what I'm going to do, usually a full screen, and I'll go until I'll go back. I'm frame advancing back, and I'll go until. All right, so that's the load screen. Okay, it's fading. It's fading. I'll go a bit faster. Okay, so this is like, there you go. So that's load. So this could be it. But no. So that's still the black screen. And I'll wait. There you go. So you can see the difference. There's nothing. It's just black. Boom. So the ground started to load in now. It might be really hard to see on this video. I'm not sure. But you can see. And usually I'll go a few frames forward just to double check. But boom. And that'll be our start frame. So I'll paste that in here. Cool. The last one is on like a button confirmation. These ones are usually really easy. So I'll use my free play run from Pirates as an example. As you can see here, the yes, also stats for nerds. This is on 30, so I'll double check that. But yeah, this yes here is the button that I'm gonna press. All right, so wait, yeah, there you go. So you can see that that's when it starts. So I'll wait and I'll go back a bit, boom. All right, go forward, boom. That's our start frame, copy, paste, done. All right, so that's it for starting times. Ending times is a lot easier. So there's usually, like there's only really two. There's lose control and then there's save and exit. So we'll use TCS as an example for lose control. All right, so with a lot of lose control timing, you'll lose control when the icon or the HUD disappears. And this is for a lot of games. So I'll go back. Okay, so his icon's there, I'll go forward, forward, forward. There you go. So it's gone, that's the end frame. So copy, paste. Cool. Save and exit, pretty self-explanatory. Oh yeah, okay, minikit rush. Cool. All right, so I'll go back. He's about to get this minikit, right? That's not the end. You need to wait until he save and exit. So he's gonna go here, boom. When that screen wipe starts is when he would have pressed it. So I've got to go back a bit. Boom, there we go. All right. So paste, there you go. That'd be the end frame. So this one will be your start. This is your end. Cool. Now I'll quickly just retime a couple of these to show you the process. Let's start with this one. So I'll go back to the start. Stats for nerds, 60. Chuck that in. Boom. Find the start frame. Okay, text disappeared. Boom, paste. Let's go to the end. There you go. HUD disappears. Boom. So this is a 21828. Now, that's a loadless timer, so we'll talk about that in a sec. I'll do the same thing for this. Now, I know this is the start frame, but I'll go back again. Clear. He was on 60. I remember that. Boom, boom. There you go. There you go, controller, presses A, boom. And then this end frame is the same as TCS. The HUD will disappear. Boom, right? Or if it cuts to gameplay, that's another one. Okay. Boom, right, so cuts to gameplay, HUD's gone. There you go, that's the time. And you can see that's his real time, and that matches with ours, which is good. All right, now, for runs with a load remover, it's gonna be pretty simple. So what we'll do, we'll just use this, because this is our end frame, right? 4828 was the end frame. So I'm gonna clear this, put in 48, 28, and then put in the decimal as well, so 380. And then I'll go back to the start. Cool, and he starts on 0, 0. And he's one frame off, so this shouldn't affect anything. There you go. So here's there. But let's say he started, well, let's say there's like a 4-second load before, right? You put in 4. Oh, that's a 4-hour load, sorry. So that's a 4-second load. So it's taken 4 seconds off of this time, which is really useful. But that's all, basically. If I missed anything, then feel free to let me know. But thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps.